Hey everybody, it's Thomas. Let's talk about Blood Bowl Legal Blood Bowl. I'm laughing because something good finally happened. Well, I shouldn't say that because the season's been pretty good to me so far, but something great finally happened on my team. I've had some pretty normal level ups, Blard on these two, block, strip ball, more block, more block, more block. These are all good things. It's boring, but they're all really good. And then Yes Wire Hangers leveled up and got me a +1 strength. I think my first plus strength I've gotten outside of the Goblin team, where it went to a troll and I gave him block. Pretty sure that's what happened. Anyway, I haven't seen plus strength in a while, and yeah, I'm really, really happy about this. It does a lot of things for me. First, Yes Wire Hangers can now blitz with 5 strength, which is a huge number. Just adding another potential big guy that has Juggernaut is massive. So very good. Regeneration too means that this piece is going to be pretty safe, which I'm pretty excited about. So future things for this piece will probably be more of a murder route. I'll probably look to give Yes Wire Hangers Mighty Blow, block, potentially piling on. We'll see. Lots and lots of things. Probably not guard and all that other boring stuff that I'll probably give to these guys. Well, these guys. Other big changes. Bought a new Bloodletter Daemon. Reason for that is I'm missing these 2 Pit Fighter cultists, and as much as I like dealing with loners, I don't. So I figured let's buy the 4th Bloodletter Daemon. We want one anyway, eventually, so why not get it now? We have the money. We've still got 90k left in the bank, so if things really go wrong, like Stickers for Men or Wigs and Socks dies, we can replace them just straight away. So this is a good amount of money, good amount of bank, and this is a good amount of players basically moving forward to 13 is a pretty happy number. It's pretty much about where I want to hover once things are done, or once everybody's back in the game. So yes, base from Emporium, Miles of Isles, all out. These things happen. What can you do? I feel like the Smash Knee happened this week, but I could be wrong. Anyway, but yeah, A Fridge Too Far is the new one. Probably going to end up being a lot like Valley of the Doilies. I'm going to try to get a level up on Fridge Too Far next week. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, otherwise, team is doing very good. Got more fan factor. The one downside is this bit over here. This really, 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 really big number. The weird thing with like high team value, which for those of you keeping track at home, I am at 1600 once my pieces come back here. But the thing with high team value is it's bad because I'm giving so much money to my opponents. However, in exchange, I'm getting a whole bunch of level ups. I've got 2 level 3 pieces. I've got uninjured this week. I've got 5 level 2 pieces, 6 if you count Miles of Isles. And Betty's Machetes is really good. And while probably overcosted, is still reasonable considering how much stuff you get for this 180 price tag. So yeah, this number is big and I don't like it being this big, but these things are unavoidable. I want to say that someone else, I think Earth, Wind, and Tires may be leveled up too. I don't remember exactly. I know I got greedy on a couple things here, but week went good. Let's talk about the game, shall we? Played against Chris. It was honestly a pretty straightforward affair. I just KO'd a bunch of his dudes a lot. He injured a bunch of his dudes. I mean, I did 3 casualties. He hurt one of his own guys. But yeah, really good week for me. You can watch the game up here. It was a pretty good game for me, but it wasn't really contestable at all. I got 3 touchdowns, which is a crazy amount for this team. So all told, let's see here, 3 casualties, 1 pass, MVP, that's 12, and then 9 on top of that, so 21 SPP. I think that's my best week so far. I might have gotten something similar to that at one point. I don't think so. So I think it's my best week so far, so that's awesome for me. That's part of the reason why team value is so crazy right now. Chris, on the other hand, it went better than the other week did for him in that he still has people on the table, but it's one of those things where he was so injured that wasn't a lot he could do. The vampires were annoying, but he didn't have enough thralls to support them, so didn't quite work out. But still, he did okay. 2 casualties, a pass, and an MVP. It's not too bad. It's a total of brain 10 SPP, so not great, not terrible. It's okay. Downside, I guess, is I only rolled 30k. I rolled 30, and then I re-rolled to 30, so hooray for me. Let's take a quick look at the Chris side of things here. So 70k for Chris, which is pretty good. Considering he lost, it's funny when your opponent wins more than double the money you did. Back up to where he normally is in terms of winnings for the week. Won the fame roll as well, which is why he has 70. Everybody's back next week too. He didn't lose any fan factor this week. He's got a little bit of treasury here. Honestly, probably worth just holding on to it. He could buy some thralls, I guess. But, I mean, not really a huge incentive to do so. He's got 12 players, though, so maybe it is a good time to buy thralls. I'm not sure, honestly, when you do not want to buy thralls. He could buy 2 thralls, which actually might not be a bad idea. Would bump his team value up to 1,400, but it might be necessary. Mostly Chris just needs to get level 2, level 3. I mean, all these pieces are pretty close, and he, honestly, if things have gone a little bit better for him, he would have more levels up than he does, but this will be the first week where he's got a full team again, so he's got that going for him, so that's pretty exciting. Any changes? I don't think anybody leveled up. He's got a lot of block thralls. I mean, this team's almost a thing, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really quite sure what to do with Chris at this point, because this is the point of the vampire team where I usually got fed up of playing them, so I don't have a good answer. Obviously, yeah, once these guys leveled up, probably going to be dodge, just so they're more mobile, so they stop failing dodges, or at least stop failing so regularly. I don't know. I mean, I think more thralls is probably the safer way to go. Could save up for more vampires, but I think more thralls is probably the more stable outcome. It does increase the likelihood that a thrall will eat his MVP, but I don't know. This seems like a not that unreasonable amount of risk. Let's take a look at the other games here. This matchup just happened, actually. This is Andrew versus Zach. I don't have a ton of notes about what happened because I haven't had a chance to watch it, but it looks pretty good for Andrew. Aside from the fact that Andrew rolled 30k, he hit really hard. Chaos Dwarf is finally pulling out its punching gloves and doing the punching. 2 weeks in a row of getting huge amount of casualties here. 5 casualties, a touchdown, and an MVP. That is exactly the kind of power Andrew wants. It's 18 SPP for the week. Only took 1 casualty in return, probably on a Hobgoblin, I would guess. Zach, on the other hand, did not have a very good week. 1 casualty, which is the one over here, and the MVP. That's 7. Zach is not getting the SPP he needs to advance his team. I mean, Undead is a really good team kind of at any stage of the game, but part of what makes them good is the ridiculous amount of development they can get and the ridiculous amount of power their pieces have initially. So it's kind of like I've been saying about Mark as the season develops, is these teams need SPP to keep up with everybody else. As I get bigger, as Chaos gets bigger, as Chaos Dwarf gets bigger, and in theory Vampire gets bigger, all these teams become more problematic for these other teams. It's not happening right now, and that's kind of a problem. But we'll talk about Zach when we get to his team. Andrew, on the other hand, busting through Catan Ironback, hitting level 3, which is awesome. Any changes from last week? Not really, I think. Yeah, these guys got guard. Got a Bull Centaur level up, which is incredible. This is absolutely what Andrew's been waiting for all season, and it's amazing that's happened. Minotaur looks like got some hits in as well. I don't know if that might have been against Chris, though. Either way, this team is on the cusp of anybody being fantastic. Aside from the fact the Bull Centaur leveled up, which is amazing, block is what I would get, but arguments can be made for break tackle as well. One of the big strengths of the Bull Centaur is obviously that they're incredibly mobile with sprint and sure feet and 6 MA to begin with. So break tackle helps keep them mobile, but I think block will give you more overall. The more people with block on this team, the happier it is, basically. But yeah, in terms of this Chaos Dwarf blocker, if he rolls a double, obviously get Claw, but Mighty Blow is the next step. Pretty much, Chaos Dwarf blockers are like my pieces in that they're pretty boring because they're already really good. You get them guard, you get them Mighty Blow, bam. The other exciting thing about Andrew's team, for Andrew anyway, is he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces within an MVP of getting to a next level. Some people are like an injury and an MVP. You know, he's really close on a lot of these people too. Lots of 4s here. So yeah, Andrew's team is looking pretty good. He's got 50K in the bank right now. I don't feel like he needs to buy anything though. He's got 4 Hobgoblins, which is probably the most he'll ever want. I mean, you can probably get away with just 3 to be perfectly honest, but 4 is kind of a happy number. Next Hobgoblin levels up, probably should get Dirty Player, so you can have a fouling engine. But yeah, this team's getting terrifying. I don't remember when I face Andrew, but it's far enough down where I'm pretty scared. So we'll see what happens. Andrew picks up a win though, which is awesome. His season is slowly turning around, which is cool. Let's see here. We've got Chaos versus Dark Elf here. Game was kind of a mess. Orville fought the ground quite a bit, as you can see. Touchdowns from Greyduck on turn 8 and her turn 16 basically helped lock this up. It's a 2-1 grind without the 1 from Orville, essentially. A couple reasons I think this could have happened, but mostly he got a little unlucky on his hit dice, a little unlucky on his dodge rolls, and also took a lot of terrible dodges and made some risks he probably didn't need to. Greyduck walks away with a fair amount of SPP, again, because that's what's happening, apparently. 15 SVP, which is great. That's a perfectly happy number. Orville walking away with significantly less. He's only walking away with 9. It's not too bad, but it's definitely less than an elf team should be getting. It's just not that happy. 80K for Greyduck as well. That's some fame rolls for you there. More fan factor as well. 2 levels up, and and the Minotaur got the MVP, it looks like. Let's double check. Yep, second MVP for Smiley here. God, this is so scary. This thing is like in striking distance of level 3. Got doubles and to get block, which is awesome. Wrestle on Puma Pedestal, which I like. Ball hunting piece is good. Another Chaos Warrior level up here, which block is what you get. I mean, there's no other option as far as I'm concerned. Ocelot Atlas finally hits level 3, which is great. Lots of fun things you can get now. Block is, as always, the safest choice, especially in a block-heavy league. That's probably what I would lean towards. But, you know, you can do fun things. Big Hand is good with extra arms, too. You can pick up the ball pretty regularly. You know, you could get Strong Arm and build a weird throwing Beastman for some reason. You could do that. Extra heads for more dodging. There's lots of choices at this point. I think block is the safest answer, but any of the fun mutations would be good too. I mean, you could also get foul appearance as well, which would also be pretty great. Lots of choices at this point. Extra arms is kind of what this Beastman's job is to do, so whatever. Ton of money in the bank here. Might want to consider buying a Beastman or 2. 11 players is a pretty good number, but this team, when it gets behind, can be very, very sad. I mean, a lot of teams are, but at this point, people have enough removal where it's probably worth considering, so I don't know if that's what she wants to do. This team can certainly skate by with having 11 players, thanks to the strong core of the Chaos Warriors here, but it's a risk. Let's take a look at Orville. He is over here. 2 levels up here with a runner and the lineman here. Money-wise, only got 30. Orville made a couple of regrettable choices, like I said. One is buying reroll number 3 instead of a blitzer. He gave block to this lineman and everything to kind of act as a blitzer, but that's just filling in gaps here. Blitzer number 3 would do way more than a reroll would. Like, rerolls will help, but the blitzers are like the huge core superstars of this team, and without the blitzers, this team is not going to be doing very well. So that's just a huge mistake in my mind. Also picked up Dauntless on this blitzer, which I can understand why. Going up against the Chaos team, you want to be able to go toe to toe with those 4-strength Chaos Warriors, 5-strength Minotaur. Like there's good reasons to get Dauntless. Absolutely, Dauntless is a great skill for an elf team, but there's skills that would do more for him. I would say dodge is the most likely culprit to pick up here. Blitzers are really good when they're mobile, and there's no reason not to get dodge on them. They have 4 agility, they've got agility skill access. Blodge is really annoying for a reason. I mean, it's a boring skill. It's annoying to play against. It's not that fun to take, but Boring is good for blitzers. You can do the fun, crazy things on like your runners and your witch elves and your assassins. Those are the fun parts of this team. But the blitzers should be boring because they need to be. They need to be the pivot point. But anyway, whatever. Nothing in the world. Lineman here leveled up and runner leveled up. This runner has a smash tip and will be out next game and has lost a movement allowance. That really negatively impacts this runner. Makes him more like the normal elf throwers at this point. In terms of skills to get, block is always a good thing to get. Dodge, always a good thing to get. Nerves of Steel might not be a bad idea, though. Dump Off and Nerves of Steel work really well together. I would kind of lean towards getting Nerves myself, especially with the way Orville throws. It would open up more things for him. And Nerves isn't a bad thing to get anyway. It just kind of, do you want to prioritize protecting this piece, or do you want to prioritize making more of a throwing threat? And those are, I mean, that's a tough decision. I don't have a good answer there. I would lean towards block because I'm very conservative and very paranoid, especially in a block-heavy league like this. But, I don't know. Lots of choices here. This lineman, I think it's time to get kick. You could get block or wrestle to continue filling in with these missing blitzers, but the better choice is just to get more blitzers, and kick is something every elf team needs. A good kick can really change how this team plays. Good kicks can save your linemen from getting beat up. It can stop scores from happening as quickly. Kick is just a great skill, and this team is quick enough as well where it can take advantage of it. A witch elf can frenzy somebody out of the way. You can run a runner or a blitzer up to grab the ball. I mean, it's just a fantastic skill. So kick is what I would lean to, but certainly Orville can get whatever the hell he wants. And has in the past, so who knows, whatever. Let's take a look at the other games here. Rats versus Norse. This was a pretty brutal game. The number here kind of sells it, I think. Mark 8-6 casualties. Like 4 of them happened right away. Like Mark was missing half his team for the vast majority of this game, and it didn't much get better. Our death this way comes courtesy of a loner, because we have to sacrifice some player to the death gods in this league every week. Not a great week for Mark, though. I mean, I think he made a mistake. I think this could have been a 1-1 tie, but I mean, there's only so many things you can do. Jessup got really lucky on his hit dice early on and was able to snowball from there. There's not a lot you can do to counter that. A ridiculous amount of SPP to be had, though. 5 casualties, MVP, pass, 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's 22 SPP. I think that makes him the leader for the week. Absolutely crazy. Only took 2 casualties in return. I mean, good on Mark for putting it in there. One of which was a foul at the end of the game, which, in a closed league, it's not that bad, but definitely a salty thing. And Mark is definitely opening himself for some more fouling in the process, but considering that it's Norse, they should get fouled more anyway. Whatever. So yes, we just not a lot to say here. Mark does walk away with a pretty okay amount of SPP on paper, except the MVP went to his dead loner. So Mark walks away with 3 SPP. Not a great week for Mark. A big echo of what happened to him. Was it when we played? Maybe it was. Either way, not a great week for Mark. Just not great. We'll look at Mark's team in a little bit, though. In terms of what Jessup's working with, the thrower is the person that's out, which is kind of actually a big problem for the way Jessup plays. That said, he's got enough other things to balance it out. 1, his Rat Ogre's back this week, which is pretty good. 2, this asshole got plus strength, because Jessup is, I mean, Skaven players in general apparently enjoyed the best skills, except for Greyduck. She didn't get as many fun things, but everybody else gets amazing things. So this player is 2 doubles, one of which is plus strength. As we've seen in Season 1, Claw, 4 strength, fast pieces are a problem. And Mark had this with Dean too. I mean, 4 strength, Claw, block is a really good combination. It makes Malarkey a huge wrecking piece, and a piece that people should be targeting, honestly. Like, if you're going to remove something, this is probably one of the highest priorities you have. I mean, I've given crap for Jessup for not taking guard over and over again, but maybe he doesn't need it anymore. Things to look for in this piece: tackle, frenzy. There's lots of awesome things you can get. Mighty Blow, though, is probably the next thing on the block to complete the Triumvirate of Death. Because why not? Everybody wants a faster Chaos Warrior, right? Other things here. Oh, yes, Balderdash 2. Rose from the grave, stronger than ever. He was struck down, but has returned even more powerful than we could ever imagine. He rolled plus agility, which is great, honestly. Couple good things going for him now at this point. Aside from the fact that it's a 3/5/9 gutter runner, which is just a nauseating amount of stats. Like, that's star player stats. He can do a lot of things. Getting this guy to level 4 is probably a good idea because block is probably what should happen next. But arguments can be made that if you're going to make him a cage breaker, maybe you just want to give him wrestle and leap. Both those skills are good, and both would coordinate very well with the things he's got. Wrestle's a little bit risky, though, so maybe he just wants to go for block. But I don't know. Leap with 1 agility, or with 5 agility and 9 movement allowance is gross, and I don't want to think about it at all. This piece is very good. So this is kind of the problem Jessup has. He's got some very good core pieces, and they're going to get targeted, and they're probably going to get fouled a lot. Like, all of these guys should be getting stepped on pretty much, but especially the big guys, the big stat pieces here. They're adding a lot of team value. In fact, the same amount of team value, but they got to go. God, I hate these people so much. And I don't even know how to play Jessup yet, but I hate them. Jessup also has gutter runner number 3 now. So honestly, it's like this team has nothing wrong with it whatsoever. The throw being out is bad, but a gutter runner can pick up the ball and chuck it now just fine. Not as far as Hui can necessarily, but hey, whatever. I guess other significant point for Hui being out is it does short Jessup a reroll that he had in previous weeks. Leader is kind of important, so could be an issue here. Team is very good right now, though. Team is very scary. Honestly, like, I think this is scarier than anyone else right now. Maybe my team, but that's debatable. One other thing I meant to mention as well. Missing these 2 pieces means that Jessup will be stuck with a loner for this week, so that's something to keep in mind as well. And then let's take a look at Mark. Talk a lot about Jessup because there's a lot of shit on that team now. Walks away at 20k, so this is just a terrible wash of a game for Mark. Missed next game here thanks to a minus MA on magnitude. It's not great. 11 players next week, so at least one of a loner, but Pierce 2 didn't get anything. Yeah, not great. Shirley needs to level up. Pierce needs to level up. Berta needs to actually injure somebody. But Abed still is pretty big, so there's that. I don't know. Mark's team is definitely less scary than it was 2 weeks ago, but it's not out of the woods scary yet. Like, this team can still hit pretty good. If things go his way, things can go really, really well. So we'll see what happens. His team value is a lot lower than it was, but it's not bad by any means. Mark just needs more money to get back on track for buying the runner number 2, and then maybe filling out some more alignments so he's not so short in the weeks ahead. All right, let's. I think that's our last match of the week to cover. Yes, it is indeed. So a not great week for my predictions, I think. I think I was wrong on pretty much everything except my matchup. So whatever. Now, if you really liked week 6 and week 7, well, that's what's happening the next 2 weeks. It's the revenge block, I guess. I don't understand how Cyanide seeding works, but the randomization means that we have 2 repeated weeks in a row. We're doing an AB, so maybe my predictions will be more accurate this time because I got these to go off of, but we'll see. Let's take a quick look at this here. We've got the Undead versus Skaven matchup here. Wait, I feel like I didn't look at Zach's team at all. Did I not look at Zach's team at all? Because I'm a jerk. Alright, I feel like I totally skipped over Zach's team when I was talking about Andrew's team. Sorry, Zach. Well, let's talk about it now in preparation for this Skaven match. Missing a mummy, not great. Missing a ghoul, also not great. Missing a skeleton again, really not great. He'll have 3 loners. It might be worthwhile just to not buy anybody. Because, he's going to get some free zombies. Whatever. Biggest loss is the mummy, though. Going down to 3 ghouls is annoying, but it's not the end of the world, since none of them really have any skills. But losing the mummy is annoying. Damage back on the mummy is also really painful. Niggling is like enough where it can end up injuring your mummy more. They're still hard to hurt, but with claw becoming more and more common, not that hard. So that kind of sucks. But he'll have the guard piece, so that'll be a big deal. Team value wise, and this zombie leveled up here, so I would give him block. That's what I would give this zombie. He bought a 4th reroll. I don't like that. I think this is more of a... I'm using too many rerolls too quickly, so I'm going to get more sort of a reaction, which is fine. The undead team is pretty cheap and could afford to do so, but it seems like unnecessary team value bloat. I don't really like it, honestly. Like, he could have just fired Fat Elvis and rehired him for the cost of the reroll. And, the better answer to why am I failing so many things is to do better things and do better reroll management. So, I don't like it. In terms of team value, though, he's very depressed for the week. So, assuming normal roll up here on the zombie, he'll be at 10-10, and then 3 loner zombies, another 120, so 1130. Okay. And then what is Jessup giving up here? So 1 loner lineman, 1370. So that's 250. That's I would get bribes and a wizard, honestly. That's what I would do if I was Zach. Bribe to let the stompy skeleton stomp more, although I think that one's out. Yeah, murder skeleton's out. But then, whatever. You can use your multitude of zombies to do some stomping. Step on some key pieces. Use the wizard to zap some people. Got a runner get away from you? Lightning bolt. 2+ to not get the ball free is pretty good. And potentially do damage. That said, I don't think Zach can win this game. Jessup is a little bit better at the game still. All that more experience will help. And his team is just so much scarier. Especially with 1 mummy missing. The Rat Ogre is going to have a lot of easier pickings. And with these ridiculous stat upgrades, I don't think he can really compete. Stopping Balderdash is really hard. That said, he does have the 2 tackle whites. So we'll see. But also something to keep in mind is last time they met, I don't think he had... Did he have more than 1 gutter runner? I don't think he did. Maybe he did, but that's still not a great outcome. So I just think his team is slower enough and Zach's inexperienced enough where I think Jessup can win it. I just don't see it being the other way around. That said, Jessup could finally get what's coming to him like Mark did and get his jaw broken. So we'll see. I would like our requisite death this week to come from Jessup's team, just because he's got gross pieces, and that's how it should be. But yeah, I think Jessup will probably win that game anyway. Me versus Orville again. I think I'm going to win here. Giving up a ton of money is the one kind of crucial caveat. So this runner is going to be out. Assuming a normal skill on this lineman, he'll be at 11k because he's got 11 players. So, or not 11k, 1100. So, oh god, it's so much money. Where am I here? So I'm giving up. Oh my god, I'm giving up 350, which is a lot of money. Or no, I'm giving up 360. Either way, it's still a lot of money, one way or the other. It's pretty much his choice of non-Morgenthorpe star players. It's a halfling chef and a babe. It's a ton of rerolls. It's a bribe. It's an extra apothecary. There's a lot of things you can get for 350, and I don't even know where to begin to pick. If it was me, I'd probably go for the chef because my team needs its rerolls pretty bad. I mean, I've got a lot of pieces with block now, but I don't have that many pieces with block, and I still frenzy a lot, and I still have problems picking up the ball because I have 3 agility idiots. So, Mass Chef could screw me over. Wizard could definitely screw me over. The safer play is probably like Wizard reroll Apothecary. That's probably that's like the safest outcome. You could also make an argument for going 2 Apothecaries, Babes, and some other crap, but I don't know. The point is, Orville's got a ton of money coming to him, and he will probably buy something crazy. I don't know. It's not something I'm looking forward to. Honestly, the fact that you can just buy 3 rerolls and a Babe is pretty terrifying in and of itself, because 6 rerolls is a lot. It's a lot to deal with. So I don't know. I think I can still win this just based on how much better all of my pieces are, but not going to be an easy fight considering how much money I'm giving up. But that's how it goes. I mean, my team is way more developed, and that's just how the game is. And I still think I'll probably be able to pull off the win anyway. Same thing with Jessup and Zach. We've got that's not the right week. We've got Chris versus Castorf again. If things go slightly better for Chris this week, he could do okay. But he can't really win the hitting war. 1320 in team value versus Andrew's 1380. So we know roll rolls 1420. Andrew, welcome to the club of being over 1400. I guess the question then is, does Chris buy the extra thralls or not? Because he's going to get 100 from Andrew right now. If he buys the thralls, he gets nothing. If he buys 1 thrall, he could get a Babe still. So that's kind of the question Chris has to decide on, is what will give him more advantage. Will the second Apothecary give him more? Potentially. And then maybe it's worth sticking with the 12 players. I mean, 12 is still pretty good. Gives him a little bit of a buffer. But it's risky considering these two are both 6 armor value. So, I don't know. Either way, a very hard matchup for Chris. Chris has 4 vampires now, which is definitely more than he had last time. But Andrew's got so much now. Just so much. A lot of guard, more mighty blow, a better ball carrier, a more defensive piece, just a better bull centaur. I mean, who knows? It's Blood Bowl. Magical things could happen, but I think Andrew wins this one pretty handily. Chris isn't really fast enough to get away from this team. He can get away, but he can't really escape. Andrew just hits so much harder. That said, vampires might behave themselves for once, and then it would be okay. We'll see. Andrew also historically has had some bad luck with kickoff events, so maybe things will go Chris's way thanks to some rocks or a pitch invasion. We will see. And then probably the slightly dicier matchup of the week, or at least the harder one to pick, I think, is Norse versus Chaos. Last time they met, Greyduck won, but one thing to mention here is that they did have this disconnect, and in this disconnect, in this game, Greyduck was not ahead. That said, Mark also had Pierce 1. So we'll see. Things could definitely not go as well as they did for Greyduck. And certainly I think they'll go better for Mark than they did last week, because that was an unbelievable amount of bad luck going his way very quickly. 1240 versus... So we know roll-ups here. 1380, so 140. 10k short of getting something fancy. So Mark has some choices for what he wants to get. Second Apothecary is probably the safer way to go, honestly. I don't know. I still feel like this is probably going to be... Where are we? Probably going to be a tie game. If we look at like this matchup, Greyduck won, but I mean, I guess is the safest way to put it. I don't know. I think that if things don't go the way of Greyduck this week, she's going to have more problems, because she still can't stand up to the run amount of block that Norse has. So if Mark gets first possession and manages to do magical things with Britta, then things can go his way. Definitely an uphill battle for Mark, but it is a winnable one. And Chaos is very slow, so if they get stalled at all, they can't really score very well whatsoever. So as long as Mark doesn't get tilt, plays focused, and doesn't get just crapped on in the luck department, should be close. I'm going to say a tie here, just because I think that's what it's me. Let's take a quick look at rankings here, because we are at the halfway point, by the way. Week 7 is the halfway point of our championship, or just regular season, if you will. About a third of the way through, all told. So if we look at rankings here, me and Greg are tied for, Greg and I, whatever, are tied for first with 17 points. Neither of us have eaten a full loss, which is kind of crazy. Good for us, I guess. Jessup and Mark here sitting at 12. Andrew chomping up the bits, though, moving pretty quickly up there with 3 wins versus the 4 wins here. A lot fewer ties this season, by the way, which kind of surprises me. Chris at 124, and then Zach, the win still eludes him. I'm sure it's going to happen eventually, but it hasn't happened yet, which scary. Also, a lot of teams are now, pretty much every team is pretty comfortably above 1100. Some teams don't look like they are right now because they've got big missing pieces. Like there's an extra 120 and 100 and oh my god, so like 270 team value that's not being reported down here. So yeah, so you know, boats are rising. Definitely though, we've got some pretty big divisions here. I'm way above everybody else. But Andrew's nipping at my heels. Greg's probably pretty close too, and I imagine Jessup will be all up in my face pretty soon too. Actually, I think Jessup is also above 1400. Yeah, 160. So yeah, he's at 1480. So he's only above where I am with my missing pieces, but I've got 2 missing pieces. Whatever. Take a quick look at Hall of Fame. Abed, despite Mark's terrible week, Abed is 1 touchdown away from level 4. We've got a lot of people that are closing in on level 4 as well. Wigs and Sox and Malarkey here both have 23. Smiley's at 24, like we talked about. This Minotaur is really close to getting there. And you can tell that a lot of pieces are getting up there because we no longer have anything below level 3. So onward and upward. Best scoring, no big changes here actually. Balderdash is up, joined Stickers for Men and Dean with 4. Yeah, everyone's doing a pretty good job of spreading out their touchdowns, which is good. No big changes on the throwing though. Hui threw big time. Most violent player, Abed still holds that slot pretty handily, although Smiley is coming up with 7. God, Minotaur is so good. Now that his block, it's even better. I totally expect that Smiley may very well pass Abed. We'll see though. That's kind of, does the +1 strength matter more than the +1 strength matter more than the wild animal loner stuff? Ugh, not a fun thing to think about. Best running, the Dean still holding on to that number 1 spot, which is pretty impressive. He's in the top scoring as well. Is it right? Yeah, he's got 4 touchdowns, so not too surprised to see with best runner, but pretty impressive considering how one-sided Mark's last couple games have been, that he is still holding on to that top spot. Although Atlas closing in 1 square, literally 1 square behind him. Yeah. What else we got here? Best throwing, Orville's passed, so to speak. Lots of long throws from Orville. Whatever. Survivor still means nothing, although, man, if this starts to mean something, I'm going to be really scared because we're having a good amount of churn in this league, but not that much churn. Best killing, we should have 7 people on this list. I don't know why. I think one of the killers got, because Pierce got a kill, I think, and he's no longer on the list. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and check. Either way. I mean, we don't have to fill this out. We don't have to have all 10 spots occupied by actual kills, but I think it's going to happen. Best receiving, Balderdash 2, not surprising here. That's the super scoring gutter runner with all the amazing stuff. He'll probably get more touchdowns as time goes on as well. So quick recap of my predictions for next week. Revenge Part 1. I think that Jessup will win. I think that I will win. I think that Andrew will win. And I'm going to say tie. Believe in Mark. What can I say? But definitely a hard match for both those teams. That's why I think it's going to be a tie. Whatever. Cool. Long video. Sorry about that, everybody. A lot to talk about, though. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.